this is the best I think I've felt for my career, like holistically. This is a much more natural weight for me. The last couple camps, I just have not enjoyed because of the amount of like sacrifice and skimping on food that I'd have to do, especially the last 4 or 5 weeks when I'd really have to try and get my weight down to get into weight cut range for middleweight. It was just too much. And I think it started affecting me in the fight themselves. And like I said, like this is a bit of like the end period of my career. I want to enjoy the process a little bit more. I want to enjoy the training. I want to feel good, you know. And I've done all the right things. I'm not going to light heavyweight as a out of shape.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when somebody f***s up, call them out. Tell them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if Herb Dean is the standard of officiating at the highest level, then that is some shit, bro.
Up-and-coming athletes, and not just boxing, just athletes around the world, that tomorrow's not promised. So you need to make the right investments, make the right decisions with your money, because you can use it as a tool to make money, but at the same time, it can hinder you and you can burn yourself at the end of the day thinking that you're gonna get another check tomorrow. So you gotta plan for the future.
In round 3, that should have been 2 points. You know what that does? That puts Pereira as the winner. That means he goes home in Brazil, a third world country, where he's able to give a better life to his family. But you know what happens? He gets deducted half of what was supposed to make because of the referee. That he have the balls enough to actually stop it. Officiating is, bro.
There's a terrifying shift happening behind the scenes in the fighting world right now. And it looks like the biggest names in the sport are completely losing their grip on reality. While the old guard is unraveling through public meltdowns, legal trouble, and a sudden lack of self-confidence, the new generation of killers is stepping up a plan so arrogant they sound entirely unhinged. We are witnessing a psychological war where legends are running from the very monsters they created, and rising contenders are mapping out the exact minute they plan to execute the pound-for-pound king. The lines between confidence and delusion have never been thinner, and a hidden disrespect brewing between two of Ireland's biggest stars might be about to tear the entire landscape apart. It all starts with a bizarre, calculated trap being laid for the most dominant lightweight on the planet, Islam Makhachev. Most fighters stepping into the cage with generational talent like Islam are just trying to survive the early onslaught, praying they can land a lucky punch or catch him off guard with their length. But Ian Garry operates on a completely different level of psychological warfare. During a recent high-profile press conference in Dublin to announce his major signing with Matchroom Talent Agency, Garry dropped a bombshell strategy that left the entire MMA community completely stunned. He openly promised a round 4 execution. He stated that he has absolutely no intention of going for a quick knockout or an early stoppage because he refuses to let the public write his victory off as a fluke or a lucky shot. Garry wants 4 rounds of absolute, uninterrupted domination, where he forces a champion to walk directly into his traps before taking his head clean off his shoulders. It is a level of supreme arrogance that immediately caught the attention of former double champion Daniel Cormier. DC did not hold back when reacting to these comments, instantly warning Garry that he is playing an incredibly dangerous game. Cormier pointed out that when you are dealing with an elite, pound-for-pound monster like Makhachev, success comes from seizing the chaotic moments that present themselves in real time, not trying to follow a pre-written script. DC declared that Garry is completely misguided in his thoughts, and that by trying to dictate the exact round, he finishes the world's best fighter just to satisfy the critics. He is setting himself up for a devastatingly bad night. Cormier's message was simple. If you win against a killer like Islam, it does not matter how it happens, and trying to choreograph a masterclass is pure insanity. But predicting a flawless victory against Islam was not even the most disrespectful thing Ian Garry said during that press conference. There's a silent civil war brewing in Irish MMA, and Ian Garry just subtly erased Conor McGregor from history. While discussing his future goals, Garry boldly claimed that his next performance will officially make him the most victorious Irish fighter in the entire history of promotion, bringing his record to 11 wins. He talked passionately about carrying the flag for Irish MMA for a long time, claiming he is the undisputed leader of the second wave, who will eventually bring massive events back to Croke Park. But if you actually look at the timeline, Garry's claim exposes a massive hidden belief. Conor McGregor currently sits at 10 victories. Conor is scheduled to make his highly anticipated return against Max Holloway at UFC 329, which happens right before Garry's next appearance. If Conor wins, he hits 11 victories first. By Ian Garry declaring that he will break the record and become the most victorious Irishman, He is directly predicting that Conor McGregor is going to fail. And Garry might not be the only one betting against a Mystic Mac, because a former champion just exposed exactly why Conor is doomed. The reality check heading toward UFC 329 is getting incredibly dark, and Tyron Woodley is convinced that Max Holloway is going to completely dismantle McGregor. While breaking down the upcoming mega fight, Woodley admitted that while Conor has the size and power advantage at 170 pounds, his entire preparation methods are completely flawed. Woodley revealed a brutal truth about McGregor's current status, agreeing with past criticisms that Conor is surrounded by people he easily beats, which completely stunts his growth. To fix this, Woodley suggested that McGregor needs to put up a $1,000 bounty in his own gym, daring young, hungry, spunky fighters to knock him out just to find someone who can actually push him to his limits. Despite recent training photos proving Conor looks like an absolute tank less than 2 weeks out from the fight, his bizarre acting gigs and erratic behavior have people questioning his focus. Woodley is officially picking Holloway to walk away with the victory, believing Max's endless cardio and elite skill set will be too much for a superstar who might be too comfortable to fight in the trenches anymore. While Conor fights to save his fading legacy, another lightweight icon is fighting a much darker battle outside the cage. The MMA world was collectively heartbroken after shocking legal issues surfaced surrounding the legendary Dustin Poirier. The former interim champion was arrested at an Atlanta airport and hit with charges of public intoxication. A stunning fall from grace for a man widely regarded as one of the most respected figures in sports. The situation appears to be deeply serious, as his longtime rival Max Holloway confirmed during a somber livestream that Poirier is going through an incredibly tough time and is actively seeking professional help to recover. The incident prompted heavy reactions in the fighter community, with veteran Matt Brown offering some incredibly raw, necessary advice. Brown warned Poirier that he cannot be afraid to lower himself and start completely from scratch. Drawing from his own painful experiences opening a business where he had to humble himself and do the grueling grunt work after being a famous superstar, Brown explained that Poirier must strip away his ego to survive this new chapter of his life. It is sad to see a warrior of his caliber in such a vulnerable state, but while Poirier is facing his demons head-on, the heavyweight champion of the world is accused of running from his. Jon Jones is facing an absolute avalanche of criticism, and Daniel Cormier has completely exposed what he believes is a hidden lack of self-confidence. The heavyweight division has been frozen in a state of absolute chaos, as Jones continuously avoided a unification bout with interim king Tom Aspinall. Cormier went on a blistering tirade during a recent public appearance, stating that Jones's refusal to take that fight will forever taint his legacy in a very bad way. DC explained that while Jones was a fearless apex predator when he was a young guy climbing the ranks, he simply cannot handle being the older champion under threat by a younger, faster model. Cormier boldly claimed that Jones watched Aspinall fight and realized he didn't possess the confidence to overcome that specific puzzle. But the accusations of Jones ducking challenges ran even deeper when DC revealed a wild, secret negotiation that went down behind closed doors. According to Cormier, a massive organization recently stepped up with a 7-figure offer for a highly anticipated 6-minute wrestling match between the two historic rivals. DC immediately agreed to the terms, confident that he would easily take Jones down and dominate him if points were being scored. However, Cormier claims that Jones completely blocked the entire negotiation the moment he realized he could lose. Jones allegedly demanded that the match have absolutely no point system, insisted on a submission-only format, and refused to compete in anything where there was a statistical chance of him being defeated. DC told the crowd to completely give up on ever seeing Jon Jones face true adversity again, claiming the champion is terrified of anything that might scratch his flawless record. While the heavyweight elite refused to move, the middleweight division is preparing for an absolute car crash of a contender fight. An absolute war is locked in for Oklahoma City, as Kamaru Usman prepares to make his violent return to the middleweight division against a chaotic force that is Dricus Du Plessis. The stakes for this July 18th showdown are astronomically high, with the winner guaranteed an immediate shot at the 185-pound gold. Du Plessis presents a completely unique nightmare for anyone in the division, utilizing an unorthodox, clumsy, yet devastating style that fighters describe as trying to avoid a piano falling from the sky. When asked how he could possibly find training partners to replicate such an unpredictable monster, Usman remained supremely unfazed. The former pound-for-pound king pointed out that his decades of experience grinding in legendary rooms like the Blackzilians surrounded him with every chaotic style imaginable. Usman is looking to use that deep well of veteran knowledge to neutralize the chaos, fully focus on conquering rarity in modern mixed martial arts, becoming a double champion. With the main events locked in, the promotional brass quietly made a massive roster move that completely blindsided the fans. The cutting axe has swung behind the scenes, and rising prospect Trey Waters has been completely banished from the roster. Reports surfaced that after Waters suffered a devastating first-round knockout loss against Sam Patterson, the promotion struggled to find him active matchups, leading to both sides quietly parting ways. Waters did not waste any time, immediately jumping ship to sign a lucrative deal with the PFL to rebuild his career. At the same time, the promotional matchmakers have been aggressively filling out the upcoming cards, officially locking in multiple high-stakes wars for UFC 330 in Philadelphia. Resilient veteran Neil Magny is set to clash with Ramiz Brahimaj in a must-win situation for both welterweights, who are desperately trying to bounce back from recent disappointing losses. Additionally, a highly explosive lightweight matchup between Jalen Turner and Colin Fernandez has been finalized. Turner is looking to build momentum after a spectacular win over Edson Barboza, while Fernandez steps into the cage riding a ferocious 3-fight winning streak, returning from a year-long layoff to prove he belongs at the absolute top of the food chain. But while the official fight bookings are generating massive hype, the entire community is locked in a furious debate over the absolute disaster that is the new ranking system. The introduction of Meta AI rankings alongside traditional media panels has created total chaos across multiple divisions. Longtime MMA insiders recently highlighted some truly baffling changes, including the complete removal of Vinicius Oliveira from the bantamweight eligibility list because he temporarily moved up to featherweight, which allowed Farhad Basharat to sneak back into the top 15. Even more shocking was the featherweight shakeup, where veteran contender Josh Emmett was completely dropped from the media rankings entirely, replaced at the number 15 spot by Patricio Pitbull. Meanwhile, the middleweight landscape saw Ikram Aliskerov miraculously enter the rankings at number 15 following a dominant win, leaving him deadlocked in a tie with blue-chip prospect Bo Nickel. The lightweight division saw a similar madness, with Rafael Fiziev climbing up to tie with Renato Moicano at the number 10 spot. It is a time of absolute instability, where the old rules of matchmaking and legacy are being completely thrown out the window. The legends who once ruled the sport are collapsing under the weight of external drama, legal battles, and internal fear, while a hungry, arrogant new guard is violently rewriting history in real time. It leaves us staring at a fascinating, unpredictable future where the ultimate question is no longer just who wins the next fight, but who will actually survive the chaotic changing of the guard.